Hi everyone, my name is Judith Grace Akinyi, aka Saga. Once again we are here to tell you stories on our channel, Saga Prison Stories. If you've not subscribed yet, we urge you to please subscribe, like, share, comment, ask us any question that you'd like us to answer. Today with me here I have a guest. He's going to introduce himself and then we'll move on with our topic for today.
Okay, my name is Hasan Yusuf Ramadan. I come from Nairobi, Kenya, and from a family of 9 children, and I'm born again Christian. And I have come to this channel just to share about my experiences in life, mostly what I've gone through and what I am doing after life in prison.
I understand you once served as time at industrial area prison.
Yes.
But before we get to that, I'd like you to tell our listeners your background, how you grew up, and what led you into, what put you into the prison.
Okay, I grew up in an estate called Umoja in Nairobi, and in that family of 9, I was the second last of those 9 people. I just want to tell you the highlights where most of the problems came in is when my mom passed away when I was 10 years old. So after she passed on, I felt like I was empty, I felt hopeless, and mostly I didn't want to share with my other siblings. They didn't know. I used to be a silent person, so I used to keep it inside of myself mostly. But when I was in standard 8 Apple, there is a time it reached that I started to get exposed to drugs, mostly cigarettes and bang. But that was the initialization. But when I went to Form 1 now in high school, I met people who were already using the drugs. So that's when I started using drugs. I used drugs from Form 1 until Form 4, but it wasn't very much I wasn't very much into those drugs. Because I was in school, I didn't want many people in my sisters to know about it. I didn't want even people at home to realize about it. Because I used to be a silent person, nobody could even know that there was something that I was doing that it was bad. But now after Form 4 is when now I started doing openly. I started showing my people that I'm doing drugs. It became a habit, but now after Form 4 it became worse because I came from one drug to another. From bang, I started doing even alcohol in Form 4. I started cigarettes just lightly, but there were some other drugs which I got initiated into along the way. In Form 4, we used to like chewing this mirror. So those are the drugs which I started when I was around Form 4. But bang and cigarette mostly, I used to do them even from class 8. Sana we used to roll these pawpaw leaves. Then we put in a
Pawpaw, the fruit pawpaw.
The leaves.
Yeah.
So tunachukua, we put on a newspaper. Then we roll like just a cigarette, we smoke. We didn't know we just felt it was cool to us. But we didn't know it was I was initiating myself into something. So when I was in high school, ndio nikapata hapana hiyo hata haikukuwa kitu. Now I got the real experience with bang. So bang, I started using it at an early age of maybe, let's say 15 years old.
15. So can we say that a lot of children are initiated into drugs probably from class 7,
Yes.
8, and
Yes.
the parents believe that these children are so innocent.
Yeah.
But quite a good number already initiating themselves into drugs. So it can start from primary,
yeah,
and all the way to secondary school.
And even the parent might not know. They can just defend their children ati mtoto wangu ako sawa, anaaga mambo mingi. Because one thing about drugs, you can be using drugs but you are sober minded, maybe like bang. You know, you won't get the smell like alcohol.
Yes.
Or you won't stagger mostly like alcohol. But a person who takes bang can take bang, and then when it's out of the head, he can come at home. So you won't realize that he have taken some drug. They will take it when they are with their peers. After 3 hours, ikishuka kwa mwili, yatakuja kwa nyumba akiwa on a sober mind. Kids right now, kuna vitu mingi sana. Kuna social media hadi. Hizo social media, kuna ataingia tu YouTube apate channel inaongea about hiyo kitu.
Yes.
Aingie mahali ka Facebook, bado ataenda apate tu kuna group imeonesha tu hapo. So it is easier even for the kids who are in this generation. Hata ule mtoto tu wako ukitaka kujua ako into those things, angalia mavazi. Utapata anapenda t-shirt ya weed. Utapata amechora mahali hiyo plant. Huyo ni mtu uta realize huyo ako hooked into this thing. Ama saa zingine unapata tu signs, appetite. Kama mi sasa in form 2, I used to, nilikuwa mtu spendi kukula, but when I got into form 2, nikajipata. Sawa, hiyo hapo ndio masista zangu I think walianza kunotice huyu mtu kuna kitu anatumia, lakini because I got an appetite, ilitoka tu, ilikuja tu all of a sudden. So drugs, I know in Kenya, it is very accessible huku mtaani. Because mi nakumbuka that at that age, tulikuwa tunabai kwa mzee mwingine, alikuwaga kwa place fulani inakaa machokora hivi.
Na ulikuwa unatoa pesa wapi?
Sasa pesa, because I used to be in a day school, tulikuwa tunapewa hizi pesa ya lunch. Unapata hiyo pesa ya lunch utasave tu. Alafu it was easy to access, as cheap as 10 bob ama 5 bob. So you can't lack that money to hata saa zile unaenda tu unaomba mtu. Alafu ikifika secondary, hii wazazi wengi wanafaa kunotice. Ukiona mtoto wako anakuitishaga dawa ya tumbo sana, ama dawa kichwa, jiulize swali. Because in secondary saa nilipata hiyo trick. Nilikuwa naenda naambia babangu, nasikia naumwa na tumbo. Hiyo tu nikimwambia hivyo ni pesa ya bangi nilikuwa tu naenda kuchukua. Mostly tu angejua, but ananipea tu sini 20 bob. Na of which hiyo weed ilikuwa 20 bob at that time. So mimi akinipea 20 bob haraka nishapata ya bangi. Nimeenda nimevuta, nimerudi tena pale, nimekaa. Hivyo sasa unapata utakuwa na ka habit. You develop a habit of asking people for money, and not even money, petty money, like 10 shillings, 5 shillings, 20 shillings. Si kitu itakusaidia sana, but wewe unajua at that moment hiyo pesa itakusaidia. Unaona? So most of the things like drugs, tuseme, it is very accessible in our society right now.
It's easily accessible. And did it affect your education?
Yes, very much. Because when I was in class 8, I used to be a bright student. Even I was called into national schools. But when I got to secondary, my education life started to deteriorate pole. Nikajipata even nikimaliza form 4, hizo marks nilipata si zangu kabisa. Na pia in school nilifika mahali nikapata tu, nika lose to focus in school, nikajipata sina interest na classes, niko tu yani projects za shule nafanya tu just for the sake. Alafu I think pia the fact that my mama kukua ilikuwa pia imeni affect sana. Silent design naona sitaki kusikiza masista zangu, of which hao ndo walikuwa wananishughulikia, hao ndo wananilipia shule. So mi nafanya tu vitu just for the sake. But right now I understand, si ati ilikuwa mimi, maybe hizo drugs, because tunafanyaga vitu tukifikiria we are cool, but kumbe at the end of the day tunafanya
So can we say that even within our neighborhood, these things are there?
True.
And we parents should not deny for our children, especially if the teacher tells you that they can notice or they notice a problem with your child. Dig into it and find out what the problem is.
Yeah.
They're initiated as early as primary school.
True.
As early as primary school. And this I can bear witness, because when I was talking to students in secondary schools, a lot of them would come behind after the session and say that, Madam, I'm into this, I am trying to get out, I don't know what to do. Addiction is an illness.
True.
It is a disease. Just like mental health. We've heard Hasan say that he lost his mom and he was in denial. He didn't know what to do, because this is somebody who was so dear to him, and there was that loss at a tender age. Probably he didn't go through counseling. Nobody took time to talk to him, maybe to heal from this. It is high time that we started finding ways of helping people who have issues, death, problems in marriage, problems with just life, economic problems. Those are all, they can all cause mental stress. And when one is so stressed mentally, stress is just like an illness. Just the way addiction is, that is what it is. We are going to come back with part 2, when Hasan is going to tell us how this landed him into prison. Thank you. Stay tuned.